I'm going to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery, 10 millimeter. Get it off to the side so it doesn't come back over and touch. And then I want to loosen the clamps on the air cleaner tube. These are 7/32. Put some lube on them, and then you can break them loose from where they're mounted. Get your door panel tool, undo your fastener for your mass airflow sensor. Push down on the little tab, pull it off. Then you want to remove your upper air cleaner housing. And then you also want to remove your air cleaner tube. It's got a clamp right here. Put a little bit of lube on it and around the base to help break it loose. You can remove your air intake tube. Put some vice grips on the hose clamp that holds it, the tension on it, so you can twist this hose, this tube off of that metal pipe. This part of the metal pipe has coolant in it, so you don't want to disconnect that one. You just want to take it off the valve cover assembly. Do the same thing with that one. Put some lube on, spray some penetrant on here, and squeeze these together and twist it back and forth and pull it off. Next thing I did was I put a rag inside my throttle body, got my blowgun, and blew off the engine, get all the dirt off of there, put a little cleaner in there and blew that off. Next, I want to remove the 4 10 millimeter screws holding the coil cover on, and also there's 2 10s that hold this piece onto the valve covers. One here, it's a 10, and one back here with a 10. I had to use a 1/4" 10 swivel to get to the back one. Now hopefully it's loose from the valve cover. So now I can remove this. You know, I have to remove all the coils. Make sure this is loose. Okay, unplug the coils, you push the tab in and pull them off, okay? Then you can remove the 10s holding the coils in. You want to pull out your coils also. Just take the 10 millimeter bolts out, twist the coil and pull them straight up. Also blow the dirt off from inside here also. These are your coil cover bolts and the 2 bracket bolts. What I'll do is remove them from right to left. That way you can pull the connector off. All right, and if you're having a hard time pulling the connector off, take a little flat blade in there, side there, help pick it up, but it ain't working. What I'll do is remove the connector from right to left and pull the coil out as I go along. And if you're having a hard time getting the connector off, squeezing that little tab in, just push the tab into the coil, stick a flat blade in there and pick it up a little bit, and then you can pull the connector off of the coil. All right, next, you want to remove the 6 nuts, washers, and grommets from the valve covers. 2, 4, 6. There it is. 2 back there. Don't forget to remove your dipstick, okay? And once you get all of them out, then get a flat blade underneath over here, twist it, lift it up, break it loose. So now you can pull the valve cover up. Valve cover is off. Make sure you take the gasket off the cylinder head if it's stuck to the cylinder head. And also, there's silicone sealer right here. That's where the front cover meets the head. So there's always going to be a little bit of silicone right there. Also, you got your spark plug tube seals. You need to replace those as well. They need to be popped this way. Get a long screwdriver in there and hit them with a hammer, or get a thing in there and pry them out. Okay. And then make sure you notice which way they go in. You don't want to put them in backwards. Next, you want to do is inspect your cam lobes and make sure there's no abnormal wear on them. These look good. If you see any surface that looks all scratchy and shiny, scratchy and rough, then there's a problem. Got your valve cover all cleaned up. Got your seals replaced. Got your gasket replaced. You can use a socket to help pound these in. They'll bottom out. Don't bang on them real hard. Just tap them in and they'll stop. Make sure they're in there evenly. Put some lube on the surface of them and they're all set. Make sure you clean up the head surface and put some little bit of silicone right here where the head meets the front cover on both sides. Pour a little bit of oil over your cams just to help wash the surface and clean it out a little bit, okay? So now we can go ahead and place our valve cover over and then make sure you guide them over the spark plug tubes. All right, got your valve cover on. What you gotta do is you gotta hold this bracket assembly up out of the way and the coil harness. You can drop it down and it'll go bloop. And that way you know it's landed flat. Go ahead and put your washers with your grommets on underneath. Get them all started a little bit and then snug them all up. The bolts, the nuts will bottom out, so don't bear down on them too much. And tighten them up. Go ahead and put these two little 10s in the back. Next we're going to go underneath. Put the drain plug in. And then put that mount up in there. Got the drain plug back in. Tighten it up. Got those 2 bolts for that wishbone motor mount down here. Got them in there. Got this under panel back up. Alright, now I'm going to lower it down a little bit and I'm going to put my tires on and torque my lug nuts to 90 foot-pounds. And then I'm going to lower it all the way down and put some oil in it. Putting in some oil. Got my air filter in there, put my back cover back on the box. Got my clamps, 3 clamps. Put my breather, metal pipe and flex on there with my clamp. Got my clamp on this one. Vice grips on my clamp on that one so I can push this in there easily. Line it up. Line up your notches in your tubes with your housings and your throttle body. And then you can tighten up your little hose clamps right there. One there and one there. And then you got your mass airflow sensor right here. You need to plug that in. Alright, time for your spark plugs. Put your spark plugs in. Torque them to 18 foot-pounds. Put your coils in. One at a time. Just harness up in there. Put the coils in from the left to the right. Torque the little coil bolts to like 13 foot-pounds. And then next you need to do is go ahead and put the little cover back on and snug those bolts back up. Alright. Everything's together. Don't forget about your coolant recovery tank. Put that back down in there into that little bevel bracket. Make sure your dipstick's in. Make sure you got oil in it. Connect your battery. And now you can go ahead and start it. And hopefully it all goes good. All right.